Construction.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/the Hardy Construction with your hosts, Alex and
Natalie.
Oh, God.
What?
That's the name of my ex-girlfriends, or one of them.
Oh. Was she a funny one, at least?
In a sense. Anyway.
Is this something like hideous?
I doubt she listens to this show, but hello, anyway. And what's today's film?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street, written by Wes Craven, directed by Wes Craven. Came out in 1984, right?
What a Wes Craven. When did it come out, actually?
Bedwetter, Wes Craven. False rape claims, Wes
November
Craven.
9th, 7 days before I was born and 2 years after.
Oh man, big fucking deal. Hey, did it
I was
show
my second birthday. Do you know how important that was?
Did it show Evil Dead in this movie, or was I just imagining things?
Evil Dead in this
Wasn't
movie?
somebody watching a movie on television? I think Nancy was watching Evil Dead.
Oh, it's possible.
But Evil Dead came out when?
I don't know the exact date.
Alright, well then fuck it. So
yeah. You know what?
Give us,
yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Sounds like a good rap song. Give us the premise for A Nightmare on Elm Street, our fourth entry into, or no, is it? Yeah.
I will shit on your face.
He's rated, I guess, number 2 this month's Big Five.
This is
Freddy Krueger.
Well, to give it a rating, some people could be offended.
Yeah, that's true. He's called Fred Krueger in this movie, though.
Fred. He doesn't get too relaxed with them. He's a little more formal at this point.
So give us the premise, please.
The premise is about a guy who invades your dreams.
Read it off the Wikipedia.
Pulls you in your dreams, man. It's like
Read it off the Wikipedia, Danny, please.
What?
Read it off the Wikipedia. That's why I told you to read.
Okay.
That's wrong with you.
It's a 1984 horror story, blah, 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 directed by Wes Craven, blah, 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 stars all these people, blah, blah, blah. Set in the fictional Midwestern town of Springwood, Ohio.
This is why we should have did the IMDb.
The plot revolves around several teenagers who are stalked and killed in their dreams by Freddy Krueger.
Right. So this is, I guess, the film. I was going to say debut film. It's not the debut film.
Oh, and the teenagers are unaware of the cause of the strange phenomenon, but their parents hold a dark secret from long ago. So
let's get into Nightmare on Elm Street 1. I don't think this is the best encapsulation of Freddy Krueger. I think it's probably the scariest incarnation of...
He's the most serious in this one. Same thing with Chucky.
Well, maybe the 2010 version was... He was really serious in that one too, right? But I never watched it, so I don't know.
I didn't see it either. Is it worth it? I know that interesting little fact that I learned on having watched this movie and researching or to review it, that when Johnny Depp went to audition for this, he actually was just going as a friend of the guy who was auditioning, and that friend was Rorschach from Watchmen.
Oh, shit.
Played Freddy in the new one.
Yeah,
let me find his name. Hold on.
Rorschach, that's his name. Rorschach, what is his name? That guy's awesome. Rorschach. Jamie, he has like a feminine name, doesn't he?
I don't fucking know.
He was a little boy that got stomped to death in that thing I sent you.
I might just take you up on my real offer of shitting on your face. I believe I said it before. I say it again.
So the guy who's playing Rorschach, who eventually plays Freddy Krueger in the 2010 version of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so what do you think about this entry into the Nightmare on Elm Street series?
I think it's really good. I like 3 and 4 the best one.
Yeah, you can see how... You can totally see where the studio went their way with Freddy Krueger. First thing, Fred Krueger to Freddy Krueger. After did they start calling him Freddy in part 2 or part 3?
I don't know. Well, part 2 is like more about like
we gotta do part 2 one day.
Kind of theme.
We have to do part 2 one day. It's gonna be just all gay sex jokes.
It's all like,
it's like I know we're gonna have to do a twofer.
It reminds me of like one of those bathhouses or something.
You know how we do how we just do a lot of child molestation and gay jokes all the time because we think it's hilarious. But
Freddy 2 is like that entirely.
That reminds me, we got to do Clown House and Jeepers Creepers because that's Victor Salva, the guy who molested kids in real life. And he directed those. Like, it's not funny he molested kids, but it's just shocking that he got arrested for filming himself blowing a 12-year-old. Then he got money to do Jeepers Creepers.
Now, why would he film himself doing that?
He's a director. He was directing his
true.
penis into a little
even when he's molesting children, he's still directing.
Louise. And they still
he probably has a light guy on it and stuff.
Hollywood is a weird town, man. It's a weird fucking town.
He probably did like behind the scene interviews for his molestation.
Director's commentary. So I fucked
he has
this
like
kid.
a special effects person, like a makeup artist.
Jesus Christ, what a weirdo. Anyway, so this version of Nightmare on Elm Street how much did Wes Craven you think had to do with 2 through 6?
He had nothing to do with 2.
So he wasn't you don't think he was a producer at all, right?
What I heard was that he made 1. It was supposed to be a standalone movie. Mm-hmm. And he's like very new at this point, up and coming. And then 2 did so bad, and he was like offended, so he made 3 and 4.
He must have produced 3 because he didn't direct 3.
Or he at least set the stage. He said, "This is what it has to be." I think he took a much greater role in 3 and 4.
Yeah, because you can tell, and plus they're linked together and stuff. And the last 3, 4, and 5
they got Nancy in there. Is her name Nancy? Yeah, Nancy.
Yeah, it was funny because I didn't think she. Remember, I said she wasn't a good actress in part 3, but she was okay in this. I thought she was pretty good in this one. But you can tell she's kind of wooden.
And she's older.
Parts. Right, so she forgot how to act. She forgot how to act in part 3.
Respectful hair,
I guess I was wrong about something. Well, in this version of
you're never wrong about anything, Alex.
I know, because I'm partially white-skinned. White is right, and
you funny Spanish person. You'll never compare to me.
Even if you spit, your white person spit is better than me, right? Just
because. I know, yeah.
I always thought
my shit is better than your spit.
I always thought Freddy Krueger was a kid banger. I guess I got that wrong. No, they just said he's a
child molester.
They just say he's a child murderer in this one.
Well,
I know. I would make that same jump too. Like, I would think, why would he just kill kids? Wouldn't he want to fuck them? You know what I mean? Like, is that how you justify it? I know what you mean because I think the same way. Like, I'm like, why would you just kill kids?
What? You know why though? Because he's so sexual. He's always like waggling his tongue and shit.
I guess, but the whole premise is that Freddy killing these kids because they're the grown-up children of his.
No, I know, but he could kill them without like making sexual innuendos.
But here's the thing. Unfortunately, I caught the last 15 minutes of Nightmare on Elm Street 6, Freddy's Dead, with his daughter Miranda Krueger. Was that her name? Or was Miranda somebody else? But anyway, his daughter. Why would you decide to kill Freddy Krueger by having his daughter put an explosive dynamite in his chest? The way to kill him off is beyond any.
That one is so silly.
But here's the thing. That story, I guess they were trying to retcon why he was killing kids, but apparently in that version he killed his wife and he had a little daughter, and they took his daughter away from him, and that's why he was getting revenge on town by killing children.
I don't. That's really what they said in part. All I remember is something with like Roseanne Barr or something.
Yeah, and Tom Arnold. I remember that part, but I think that's the reason why they try to say they're trying to, I guess, almost justify him in a sense. But then from the 2010 version. Somebody told me that, or I read somewhere that he was an actual child molester, but in the movie you're supposed to think, oh, maybe he's not doing it, and maybe he got a false death.
He didn't get a false death. There's no way
they try to play it in the 2010 version.
You're going to be that evil when you come back.
They try to play it in the 2010. Well, maybe you get really angry.
But
they try to play it in.
Be like if somebody accused me of killing children and they burn me at the stake and then I come back and you're like, I'm so angry, I'm gonna actually kill children.
But in the 2010 version, apparently they try to play it off like he was innocent, maybe, and then at the end he says, I fucked you kids, like he actually did have sex with the kids and molested them.
I don't think
and he was trying to kill them for
because honestly, I know it sounds weird, but if you're gonna kill a kid, you might as well molest them.
That, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to justify that at all, but I would think
you kill a kid if not for that sick reason.
It's funny because it's like when I read the American Psycho book, like there's a part where Patrick Bateman, we said this in the American Psycho episode, when he kills a child, but then he's like, why, he felt nothing after he did it. He felt no exhilaration or anything like that because the child hasn't had a life and hasn't led a life and hasn't had any potential from what they've had.
That's the fun. You're ruining all that potential.
I would think so. But I jumped to the same conclusion that maybe he just didn't fuck kids. He was just a child murderer. But I was thinking, why would he kill the kids? Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? There's like,
yeah, no, he wanted their sweet, sweet fruits. I know it.
But you know, in real life, there's a bunch of people that have been killing children. Real fucking sick freaks that do that. You see how I had to add that in there? It's just
yeah. You have to justify the
real animals. And
yeah, they're terrible. They're so bad. Hint, hint.
What did you think about the filming style of this movie? Like, what the visuals? I tell you this, when I was a kid, man. I'll let you just talk. Go ahead.
I fucking love some of the effects on this movie.
It's really cool. It's one effect that's interesting, but I like looking at it now. It's pretty funny. The part where he's walking with his big goofy arms, like they're stretching across.
Oh, yeah, but it's cool. They have a figure of that and everything.
You could just see him with a giant rig on, trying to goofy walk. And then when he chases her down the street, is one of the funniest things I ever saw, because he's like running. He's like, Tina! And then he just starts doing a goofy run. Like
whenever they get him physical altercations, that's when it becomes a little silly to me.
That's pretty funny.
Like when she grabs him and grabs his hat or whatever, then it's like, oh, I don't want to see him being like hurt, you know?
And they do some horror, like, there's just some bad in this movie where every time Freddy pops up, they decided to put some weird synthesizer sound effect.
Right.
Like, the only thing I could compare it to is like Halloween. You know, when Michael Myers, like, they put that every time you see him or something like that.
Right,
and this one it was like, it was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's like a typical like 80s.
It's like Freddy had a small Moog next to him, and he was just playing it whenever he just pops up. Anyway,
it follows him around. No, but that's like a typical like 80s
Moog,
thing.
excuse me. Yeah, and but I remember as a kid, I don't think I fully ever watched the movie until tonight. Because
I think that he becomes a lot funnier as the movies go on.
Definitely. In the first movie, he was playing it completely straight. He wasn't being funny at all.
He's a little funny.
Oh, the tongue through the phone, sure.
Yeah.
But you know, when I saw this as a kid on TV, I would be like changing the channels. Even when they just showed the lamb down the hall,
right?
There's like a dark corridor and the lamb's there, and I was like, "Ooh!" It played with a lot of religious imagery in the show, in the movie. And I guess
the fucking bed sucking part.
Yeah,
stuff. Like there's a few parts that are a little confusing.
There's some stuff in the movie I don't get, because Freddy Krueger, there's a part where they have the giant vagina scene where Nancy is asleep in the bathtub, and then his glove comes out, and then the mother calls and goes, "Whoop!" and he puts his hand back down into the tub like he's afraid.
Yeah. You know what?
Meanwhile, he's killing girls on ceilings and making blood showers in the fucking
I think
room.
It's just going with the idea that like, how the hell did my keys get under here? I think it's going with the idea that these people haven't slept in so long that it's like you don't even know what reality is anymore. Yeah, and like the viewer doesn't even know, and they don't know. And
but
it's kind of like this half dream. At any moment, it could be a dream.
And I could understand if the boyfriend Rod or something.
He made me crazy, Johnny Depp.
No, not Johnny Depp. The other guy, the guy who they thought killed his girlfriend. Like I could understand if they stab a girl and then the blood sprays into the ceiling, like that, right? But the other one is the mother actually walked in to see Johnny Depp explode into the ceiling. So I mean, there's no faking that. You know what I mean?
Right,
Somebody actually saw that shit.
The amount of blood that shoots out of these people.
Was that 9 gallons of blood? What are we, 9 quarts in the human body?
10, I think.
I think it's 9. Maybe I have 10 because But
in any case, I'm sorry, but for Johnny Depp to be sucked into a bed and a geyser of blood, that didn't happen naturally. How the hell would something like that happen?
Maybe he had a period.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like Dragon Ball. He summons all the...
blood period. It's like a spirit bomb period.
Yeah, it's like Goku can get all the energy from the world, so he was getting all the period blood from every girl in the neighborhood.
For 10 episodes, as you watch him...
He's like doing that for like
shaking,
10 episodes.
And then it goes to Piccolo, who's like meditating and sweating. Like,
I tell you, as a kid, I was like, my cousin had the Dragon Ball straight from Japan. And I was like, oh boy, because I didn't have it, it was not in America yet. And
I'm
so I
glad
was like,
that they edit out.
Then I was like, I'm glad to watch this. And then I put the tape on. It was 5 episodes of them waiting to fight that green fuck Cell, and they didn't do anything. And I was like, people like this shit.
It all goes on for like a year. It's like
it's horrible. That's why Dragon Ball.
I love the show, but there was so much.
Dragon Ball C, the first Dragon Ball is the best.
Like that budget. Seriously, they got a guy to draw like 10 backgrounds, and they used it the entire show.
And they edited now, right? They have
the whole show is just like big rocky areas and people getting thrown into big rocks.
They have a new version where they cut out all the extra shit that had all that stuff, and they're just playing it straight now. It's called.
Yeah, no, I think same voice actors.
Maybe, but they're making a new movie in Japan for it, so not too bad.
Oh, cool.
Not too shabby.
I hope they. I mean, I love the voice actors for the American versions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kept a woman's voice for Goku even when he was an adult, so it was very weird. Okay, enough of Dragon Ball.
Voice?
I'm sure we lost. Yeah, it was a woman in the Japanese version doing the voice, and as a kid, there's a woman doing his voice. It's kind of
Vegeta's voice is so deep in the Japanese version
because he has big cyan balls. All right, so we lost about half of our listeners right now, but no, maybe horror people like Dragon Ball. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's get into the story. What did you think about the story? You think it was pretty in depth for a slasher film?
Yeah, I don't know. This is totally original at the time. I feel like it's totally different from freaking like Jason or Mike Myers.
And I think the
supernatural slasher. I've said this before. He is.
Which was there a Freddy movie where how the ending where he's on he turns into a car, a Corvette or whatever the fuck car it is, the open top.
No, it drives away at the end of this one.
Was there another one where he takes over a bus like that, or is that happening in this movie?
He takes over a motorcycle.
He didn't, but he did that. He didn't do that to a bus at all, right? In any of these films?
I don't know. Maybe in the second one, when that car's on the cliff, the only cool shot of the entire second movie.
I could have sworn one of these movies ended the same way, where he takes over a fucking bus and it ends like that. But I could be wrong.
No, I know at one point he takes over the kid's motorcycle or his truck, and he makes him get in a motorcycle crash. I think it's Nancy's boyfriend.
Oh.
Or somebody's boyfriend. They're all blurring together in my head.
Yeah, true.
This is a good movie.
How do you think they handled Freddy in this one?
Freddy? He's very serious, but I like in the later ones he gets more funny, but he's still pretty cool.
And the funny thing is, like, the gags are him. Like, I don't know why they had to have the gags of self-mutilation. Like, one time is enough. Like, I don't know how many times you can self-mutilate in the movie to scare somebody. Because he'll cut his chest open, he'll cut his fingers off, which they repeat in part 6. I like, when she grabs his face and his fucking face falls off, and he's like a skeleton underneath. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
The tongue through the phone, shit like that. But then I think, they had to raise the stakes by part 3. Just to make it even more fantastical, which I think is...
I mean, they get some pretty heavy shit with the towel whipping on the butt in the second one.
Yeah, I mean, it's so great. Guy in a leather daddy costume. Is just, you can't even top that, so just turn into a giant snake in the third one.
I believe he's Chet from Weird Science, someone told me once, and I thought that was pretty funny. I don't know if that's true.
The gay teacher?
The gay teacher
it wasn't
Chet from,
I'm pretty sure it wasn't
Weird
Chet.
Science. I might be wrong. I don't know.
No, I think maybe they just wanted it to be Bill Paxton. I doubt it.
No, it's not.
From the TV show. Chet from the TV show? Maybe. Stick it out. You stupid toad bean. What the fuck is that in the movie? But
for people listening to this, they're like, it's not Chet, it's this guy. Like you're getting
it's
so
Bill
angry.
Thomas, jerk. But let's talk about the characters. Let's talk about Nancy.
Okay.
What do you think about Nancy?
I like her
Strong
hair.
heroine?
What?
Strong heroine?
She's on heroin, yes.
Yes.
She's she's good, but I as always I get very frustrated in these fucking movies. Nobody ever listens. The mom is so annoying. Oh my god.
Because she had a hand in killing Fred Krueger, so she thinks, what the fuck is he talking
about? No, I know,
about?
but they're so oblivious. They're so annoying. In all these movies, I want to kill her the whole time.
If I came to you one day and told you about...
Could you imagine if I was like, don't let me go to sleep, and then you drugged me to make me go to sleep?
But that happened in part 4 and 5, right? That happened a lot in these series.
Yeah, no, but yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. These people never learn. In all these movies, they're so obnoxious and annoying, and it makes me crazy.
And the father, who's a cop, played by John Saxon, while he's not killing Bolo Young in
he's in
some mainland China thing. He's here being a cop here. He has a very effeminate face, doesn't he? Like he looks like he's like a drag queen at night and stuff.
I didn't get that feeling.
I think it's sharp eyebrows and his pretty eyes. That's what it is. And the mother, she looks like the main female from Candyman, but then I was like, nah, she's too young in Candyman to be the same actress. She's like a lush, and she's getting banged by some bald guy.
Oh, you know what he's from? I looked it up while we were talking. The coach from the second one is the guy from Total Recall. He's in Total Recall.
Quato?
Yeah, Quato, exactly. Yeah.
Quaid. That was a good movie, man.
See, he got his ass whipped so hard that he became Quato.
No, he probably had an inborn twin, and a towel hit him so hard in the ass that it made the twin come out of his stomach.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that would be a lot funnier in my head.
No, it sounded funny.
Tina was good, but then I think they followed that Friday the 13th rule, where a person that has sex has to die immediately after.
Well, that's just like every 80s thing.
Yeah, poor Johnny Depp didn't even get any ass, and he was like,
he's frustrating too. It's like all he has to do is stay awake, and he can't do it.
I don't know.
It makes me crazy.
You know who else was here? The doctor. It was Roger Rabbit, Charles Fleischer.
What, Roger Rabbit? What are you talking about?
The doctor that does the tests on her is Roger Rabbit, the guy who does the voice for Roger Rabbit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Charles Fleischer.
Oh wow.
Cool. Believe he's like that and stuff. There's a lot of shit.
That's awesome. I had no idea. Well, anyway.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's kind of a twat, and then he falls asleep.
I don't understand how Johnny Depp got an acting career out of this. Not that he's like bad.
He was probably blowing every producer out there, so he can make millions of dollars now as Jack Sparrow.
Do you think he blew Tim Burton?
I think something's going on with those two. They just like finger each other in the butt.
Danny Elfman's playing music as he's
he's like I like little girls, and he's playing it while he's fucking. Why do you think Freddy killed that one Rod by hanging him? Meanwhile, he gave everybody else like really mutated, horrendous deaths.
Plus, how the hell wanted to maybe throw off the cops?
Why? He's a ghost from another dimension.
What the hell is that weird noise?
That was a motorcycle. And plus, how did Rod put a bed sheet so far out into the other side of the room to hang himself?
Well, no, I think Freddy did it.
No shit. That's what I'm saying. It's like, he hung himself. Oh, how did he hang himself? Oh, he put this bed sheet somewhere else 50
Do you think that, like, they would have a video camera set up to see all this? No.
Of course, it's the 80s. They didn't have video cameras yet. They had film cameras.
Same thing in Chucky. No video cameras showing all these horrendous things.
I just remember something when they put Nancy under when she's asleep.
Yeah.
And Roger Rabbit is watching her. This reminded me of a scene from Part 3 when it was on television. I used to watch it on TV a lot. And they... remember one of the girls that fell asleep, and then Freddy wrote "Come and get her," something bitch, right? Said "Come and get this bitch."
Come and get her, bitch.
Yeah, come and get her, bitch. And then what they did is they masked some skin effect on it, so they put the skin over the word bitch, but the effect was so cheap that it was moving left and right. Why is there skin on the fucking bed sheets? I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. Any movies that are on TV where they edit it, like back then, they edit it a lot clearer now because you get away with a lot more shit now.
Right.
Back then, God, I love it. In the 90s,
I love some of the funny, like, first word substitutes.
Oh, God. If anybody looks on YouTube, just look up Die Hard, censored for television. It's the greatest. God. I wish they put it in
like every other word is like, you monkey. You fudge.
I wish they put that in the theaters. That's how good that was. There's a part where, and the guy who does Bruce Willis's voice is horrendous.
Oh, sugar beans.
He's like, "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon," like that voice. Like it sounds like
Mr. Falcon.
Yeah. Have you not seen that? I'm gonna send it to you.
I've been that for years.
They sound like, if anybody ever saw VR Troopers, like that show that used to come on after Power Rangers. They had a talking.
Did it do it in Bruce Willis's voice?
They had a talking dog on that show, and it sounded like
a completely different voice.
It just sounded like a bad Jack Nicholson. Yes, it's horrible. It's horrendous. I'm gonna put it up after this. But
what is that noise?
It's me. I'm hitting a penny on the table. Weird that you like the sound of a penny hitting the table.
I do, anyway. But true. I hear copper hitting a table, and I think money.
But no, I think what have we really covered in this episode? Nothing. Let's go into Freddy Krueger. So he is. I guess you're saying he
is a child killer molester. I don't think there's any doubt that he's a molester.
What is the strength of this film compared to the other Nightmare on Elm Street films?
It's I guess if you're not into the too weird humor part, then this film would be better for you. And it's definitely a good introductory into the character.
Did you like that the dreams were not so obvious?
I like that there's just no reality. Everything's kind of like half dream, half real.
Everything blends, especially at the end, because
it makes you feel like you're on drugs.
it kind of seems everything's so linear. Even the dreams are just kind of they play right through the film. At the beginning, it's obviously a dream.
Yeah.
But right after that sequence, it seems everything is just playing linear and straight. And I like that. I like that about that. This was seriously done. You know what I mean? It was done really well. And then from film 3 on, they kind of were playing with Freddy's character a lot more, making him more funny, which is, I guess, the fate of all horror icon characters from the 80s.
But I'm happy because it's still
it's Freddy Krueger. Who cares? Except he's good. It's just the movies
when it gets silly.
It's like Chucky, where the character's good, but they're just in shitty movies. That's the problem. They're really awesome characters put in a really terrible film. But they don't
Seed of Chucky and Bride of Chucky are not good. That really at all. They're funny. I like them for that.
For Chucky, yeah. Everything else is terrible. And Meg Tilly's knockers, or is it Jennifer Tilly?
Jennifer Tilly, yeah, her boobs are
Meg
nice.
Tilly is like a weirdo version of her sister, right? She has no knockers and she looks like a space alien, like an Asian.
I didn't know
space
she had
alien.
a sister.
Yeah, Meg Tilly, you'd recognize it if you saw. But yeah, I think this works. Did we do Freddy justice in this episode? I don't think so at all.
No, we should do him more justice. What else can we say?
Robert Englund's portrayal of Freddy in this version.
Oh yeah, Meg Tilly. I'm looking at her.
Okay, Freddy Krueger. What did you think about him in this film? Like his Robert Englund's portrayal of him.
No,
different than the other ones.
As a whole, how about we just talk about Freddy Krueger?
Okay.
Freddy Krueger.
What is Freddy's impact on the horror genre? I think he's probably the most.
I think he's the most recognizable. Maybe one of the top 2 or 3 recognizable horror icons. Even if you know nothing
I think he's
about
number
his
one.
movies.
I think he might be the number 1 icon of
I never even saw these until like 2 years ago. Not even like a year and a half ago, whatever it was. Because I somehow missed them my entire childhood. I never saw them.
Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
Yeah, never. Like I only saw them.
Really?
Like,
wow.
Yeah, I just missed. I think like when we reviewed them, that was like kind of like I'd only just seen them.
I think what scares people the most is that it's dreams. You know what I mean? You can't escape dreams. Like, you're gonna have to dream. I was just thinking about it just watching this film. I was like, isn't it weird that you have, like how many hours a day you wake, then you have your body physically shuts down for the rest of the.
I stayed up for 3 days one time, and I think they capture the feeling that you have in these movies like perfectly.
It's like the human body literally is just a machine. It's just very.
You feel like
strange.
You're going insane if you don't sleep. You really actually lose your mind.
Yeah, I remember like the most is when maybe I shouldn't talk about that. But let's just say I was up for about 27 hours straight. And
that's the most you ever did? You gotta try like 2 or 3 days. It makes you crazy.
Yeah, you went through that a couple of times, right?
I did it like a few times, yeah.
But yeah, you can totally tell that in the film, and they play it pretty well because Nancy's like falling in and out of sleep in class and stuff. And by the end, she does like a whole Home Alone thing in her house to catch Freddy.
Yeah, that gets a little silly.
That's a little goofy when she could pull Freddy out of.
That's when I don't like the movie, when they get into when they try to Freddy's like vulnerable.
They pull that whole Asian mystique stuff, where you can pull shit out of dreams or fight your way out of the dreams, which is something that they pick up on for the rest of the series. They use that kind of mentality.
But they do it in better ways in the rest of the series. Like they do it in magical ways on Freddy's rules.
Yeah, and and kind of keeping that whole. The other films felt more adventurous because there was like a lot more you can do.
It's like a team of people.
Right. There was a lot more you can do in the sequels because you're in Freddy's dream world, and with dreams you can do whatever you want. In this one, they didn't probably have the budget to do so many crazy dream sequences.
Not only that, but they kind of like went with like a more like vague philosophical thing in this one.
So do you think Freddy grew better as a main character, as a villain?
I think so, yeah. Like, they got more fun with it. Like, the idea that, like, I can't think of her name at all, but, the one who, like, can take the powers of her friends and everything.
Okay, right, yeah, it was part 5.
Okay, what the hell is her fucking...
Part 4?
No, that's part 3.
Really? At the end she took the... No, I thought that was part 4. No, that was part 4.
No, it
was part 4.
It's part 3 and 4. And
no,
5.
Because the girl from 3 dies in 4, and the girl from 4 is the one that's able to take every... Remember
but
Karate
like,
Brother?
The girl from 3 kind of passes on her power.
Oh, does she? Okay. Oh, to pull people from the dreams.
She pulls people from the dreams.
Okay, right.
Oh, you're right. No, the redhead is the one that...
Yeah.
In any case,
the Georgette of the sea.
They get, like, special powers that are, like, dream... This one is more real. The next ones are, like, magical, which is more fun.
Yeah, I think part 2 tries to stay more real, but part 2 is more of I'm telling you, it's a film about being homosexual and coming out of the closet.
It really, part 2 really is like some kind of weird like bathhouse movie. It's so strange. And then at the end, it's like the stupidest thing. Freddy comes out, he's in the real world, he's killing people in a...
It's horrible. It really is. Like
it's really just
he does
like
a karate jump out of
that should be like shot.
There's
There's nothing against like, you know, like gay sex or whatever, but like, why are you making like a horror movie villain do these things? Like, it's not like, it has nothing to do with it. It's ridiculous.
It's kind of like, it's funny because that's what I'm saying about Jeepers.
It'd just be like if randomly like Jason just like pulls out his penis and starts having sex with someone. Like,
that's why I bring up Jeepers Creepers, because like Jeepers Creepers, like I just said before, Victor Salva was a kid fucker. Yeah. And then in Jeepers Creepers 2 is about these teenage boys in a basketball group, and the whole movie they're walking around shirtless, peeing in the woods, and you're like, and the thing is, you can't help but think, you know, what the director of this movie, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah. If it was somebody like a woman director, oh okay, yeah, she likes to see hot guys. I was gonna say hot guys. You hear that? She likes to see guys, you know, shirtless in the movie. And if it was just some other guy, like, okay, this is fan service for girls.
Yeah, but when you know it's like a pedophile.
Yeah, when you know it's this guy, you're like, this guy wanted to fuck his whole crew. Like,
yeah,
he was jerking.
Like, okay.
He was editing. He was editing this film with one hand.
Really good, Dad.
Oh yeah. Excuse me, director. Why are you breathing so?
See what else this asshole did. The guy that made.
He did. Oh, Victor Salva.
No.
Freddy Krueger 2?
Nightmare on Elm Street 2. He did some other things. Whatever. Point is, they're all good.
He did a Nightmare on Christopher Street.
I'd say the best ones are 1, 3, 4, 5. 6 is pretty stupid. New Nightmare is pretty stupid.
Part 7, right? That's not it. All I saw was the part where the kid was crossing the street and Freddy's in the sky.
Yeah, like,
and it was the worst graphics I've ever seen. So I was like, I'm not even gonna watch this movie.
Yeah, it's weird. And you know, what's his face? I can't even think
Robert Englund.
Name. Robert Englund is in it like as himself too.
I hate that meta shit. Oh god, just leave the movie as it is. You know. They
try to get like.
It's funny because Wes Craven. What else? He directed Scream, which was fucking great. 2 and 3 I didn't like that much. He did Red Eye, which I hear is really good. He did The People Under the Stairs, which was fucking fun as hell.
Yeah, that's a funny movie.
I tried to watch parts of The Last House on the Left, but it was too 70s, even for me. Like, I was like, I can't watch
Well, that's like a brutal rape movie. It's like Spit on Your Grave.
And usually that's fine, but you know.
No, I heard it's a lot like that kind of thing.
And he did that really terrifying movie with Glenn Close teaching how to play violin. That was frightening. And,
what are you talking about?
He made a movie about a violin school with Glenn Close. I guess.
Oh, it was a non-horror movie?
Yeah. I guess it was a reach. He could probably direct real films, but you know what? They probably won't get Hollywood.
Hey, real films, horror movies.
You know what I mean? I just insulted everybody in this shit. But it's like he wanted to do a film that was outside the horror genre, but I'm sure people are like, no. The Hollywood's like, nah, you want to make this movie? No, you got to make.
Yeah, well, I guess it's like Stephen King writing like Shawshank Redemption or something.
Or no, that's more of being forced hand. Like Steven Spielberg wanted to do Schindler's List, but they said, no, you got to do Jurassic Park 2, then we'll give you the money for Schindler's List.
Did they really do that?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't big enough to already have the right to do whatever the hell he wants.
And you figured if that stereotype is true about Hollywood being run, they'd be like, sure, do this movie. No.
Yeah, well, Schindler's List is like one of the best movies.
It really is. You said it was a comedy. I don't agree with that, but you know.
I think it's hilarious. Well, no, I actually haven't seen it. I have to admit.
Have you ever seen it? That movie is hardcore.
The idea of it's hilarious.
That movie is.
Such a thing could have ever happened.
That movie
that didn't happen.
That movie is depressing, brother. And it's like a big crying scene. There's probably people.
It's just all a hoax. I agree with the guy.
And I know there's horror fans here, so there's a lot of gore in that movie, so you can watch. They do it. I swear to God, they use the same scene from Indiana Jones Part 3 in Schindler's List. Either they brought the idea.
You should have the guy that rips the heart out in Temple of Doom.
to Oscar Schindler, but
they should have Hitler rip out a Jew's heart.
Jesus, there's a part where a Nazi lines up 5 or 6, these prisoners, and he shoots through one of them, and the bullet goes through 4 of them. And then I was like, wait, that happened in Indiana Jones.
That also happened in Serbian film.
Did it? We shot.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I guess Steven Spielberg was
you think that Serbian film was Do you think that Schindler's List was based on Serbian film? Do you
I,
think the Holocaust was based on Serbian film?
oh, brother, I'm glad I'm lucky you're Jewish. So yeah, Freddy Krueger. What are the things that you think will give justice to Freddy in this? Like, in
They
this
get a little
iteration?
into his humor with the tongue and stuff. I think that really, if anybody is like me and didn't see these movies when they're growing up somehow, you just fucking missed it.
Yeah.
Start with the first one, or like obviously people listening to this have seen it, so your friends who haven't seen it, introduce them with the first one, and then just skip the second one. Skip.
Yeah. It's
Show them
pretty
the
bad.
third one. Show them the fourth one and the fifth one. Then you could show them the second one. Then show them the sixth one, and so on.
To me, the best incarnation and best version of Freddy is Part 3 because I think that's where that's where we got our Freddy. And
Which is the one with the fucking Roach Motel one? That's four.
it's Part
Three.
4. Part 4.
Yeah, 3 and 4 both have such awesome deaths. Though.
3 was Dream Warriors. 4 is Dream Master.
3 was with the guy when he had his muscle tendons being ripped out, and he's like kills himself by jumping off the thing.
Ugh.
And the "You're on TV, bitch," or what? No,
Welcome to Prime Time, bitch. That was such a great movie to watch censored on TV. It really was.
Both like
The part where they cut the mother's head off. They pull it. He puts her head through the side of the.
They referenced that like 3 times or something.
But hold on TV, you know when he ripped the mother's head off and she's talking? Was it Jaja? No, it wasn't Jaja Gabor. It was the mother, and then he pulled her head out to the corner of the wall, and you just see her head floating, and she's talking.
Right.
On TV, since it was so horrific, they had to zoom in on the woman's face, so it's only from the chin up, and you don't know what's going on. So you just see her talking.
That's just retarded.
It was so bad. I love the part 2 where he was being interviewed in part 3 when he's being interviewed by was it Jaja Gabor or somebody on a talk show, and she says something, goes, "Shut up, you bitch," and he just jumps and kills her.
Right.
Part 3 is so good. Like this whole series is about picking the character and like what was their best version of them. I say part 3 is the best version of Freddy because it's so like.
Well, 4 is the same shit though. It's the same.
Yeah, you
movie.
really liked 4. I thought 4 was okay, but I thought part 3 was.
3 and 4 are like essentially the same.
Right. I fucking get it. I'm telling you, part 3 is the best version of Freddy Krueger because it has everything in that fucking.
I'm
movie.
reading here that originally they were gonna make his sweater red and yellow.
Oh my god, it's like a hot dog, right, with his fucking skin.
But then Wes Craven read that that he read in a science magazine that red and green were the colors that the human retina recognized the most, or something. I don't know.
I could see that.
So Christmas.
And that's the end of our episode. Goodbye, everybody. No.
Goodbye. Wait, no, we have to rate it.
Yeah. So I'll give this film I'll give it a high number because it's pretty cool. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Well, wait, are we rating the whole fucking character though?
We could rate this movie and then rate
We're rating the movie and the character.
Listen, we already know the character's fucking probably the best horror icon out of all of them. I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I'll watch it. I'll watch a Chucky film. I mean, I'll watch the Chucky character before I would watch a Freddy character, before I would watch a Jason character, before I would watch a Pinhead character, before I would watch a Michael Myers. You know what I mean? That's how I'm rating them.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because Freddy's the most entertaining because he could tell you bad jokes. It's just the movies progressively got worse.
Yeah, but Chucky tells bad jokes too.
That's why.
Like
I mean that's why I'm saying I like Chucky the best as a horror.
You know what's cool
villain.
though? Freddy could kill Chucky in his dreams.
That's true.
Chucky couldn't do shit to Freddy though.
That's true. Well, but he might turn into a human in his version with superpowers. Was he not in one of those movies? Was Brad Dourif never in a Freddy movie?
I don't think so, unless he was in like the remake or like maybe he might have been in the Jason vs. Freddy.
I gotta tell you this: we got not one peep for that Freddy for the Jason episode. I think it got good download numbers, but nobody gives a shit about Jason.
No, Jason's awesome.
I think so too, but I just from the people that follow our show, nobody reblogged.
I don't understand. Like, whatever, we're gonna offend people with the Mike Myers hating, but like.
I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of shit for that too.
Yeah, what makes him so much better than Jason? Like,
I don't think so. I don't think anybody said that. I think the only reason why we're putting Michael Myers in Halloween because the episode falls on Halloween. It's like October 31st is the end.
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
not
Big
like
Five.
Against Mike Myers. I like him, but like
him and Jason are the same
not
guy.
that familiar with. I have to admit, but what makes him so much better?
I think people just be snobs or something like that. I think there's people that think
it's the same fucking thing.
I know. But I don't know where you're getting that from. I think a lot of people just either they're snobs, like, oh, Michael Myers came first. I was like, so who gives a fuck? They're the same character.
Who gives a fuck? Was Jason supernatural before Michael Myers was supernatural?
I don't know. They both became supernatural in the 6th part. So.
Okay.
It's true. They both became. But I'm sure Michael Myers 6 came years after Jason 6. Years after that shit. Oh, when he was actually a laser alien or whatever the fuck he was in part 8. Part 9. That was after.
What is
Michael Myers
I don't even know anything about the Michael Myers supernatural aspect. I've only seen
it's a group of people that put That's another thing for TV that was great.
Yeah, we should probably save this for the Halloween.
They take these baby. Oh yeah, I guess I should. That's another thing I don't remind myself, where they censored it for TV because they had babies' genitals and they blurred it out on television. Anyway, okay, so for Freddy Krueger, he's a 10 out of 10 character for me. I like him a lot. Robert Englund just makes the character so fucking interesting and funny. Yeah. And just the way he delivers everything is awesome. From a maniac in the first film to a wisecracking asshole in the other ones. He knew when to turn it on and off. And I'm not even bothering with the remake because you can't do a Freddy movie without Jason. A Freddy movie without
Robert Englund.
Without Robert Englund. It's not like some shit where people say, "Oh, you can't do a Jason movie without Kane Hodder." It's like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, no
guy walking around.
Hodder, but I do care about Brad Dourif.
You can't do a Chucky without Brad Dourif. You can't do a Pinhead without. I think Arsenio Hall played him. But Freddy Krueger, it really is, to me, an iconic. There's no question about it. Freddy, Jason,
no
and
one
Chucky
cares about two
icons.
guys who wear masks and don't speak.
Right. I mean, they're interchangeables. But Freddy, and we don't mean to shit on the other characters like that, but there's an important pecking order.
No, but it's true though. Kane Hodder or whatever.
He really still cries about that
Jason
shit.
In the later Jasons, he could easily have been playing Michael Myers. I would have no clue.
He actually did. I put a clip on.
Did he?
On Facebook. They did a funny thing. There was a thing we should talk about in the Halloween episode.
Oh, is that funny thing with the driving lesson?
Yeah, so that's Kane Hodder playing him.
But
anyway,
is it really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
And that's the guy from Hatchet playing the driving instructor.
Okay.
The nerd. Anyway, so for this one, I'll give this movie, because it's such a different take on, it's the original take of Freddy, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. You're sleeping on the couch while your girlfriend's sleeping somewhere else with a steaming hard erection, trying to hide it between your legs while you're listening to your friend get fucked upstairs. That's what happens to Johnny Depp in this movie.
Okay, I'm gonna give Freddy a 10 out of 10 as a loving human who molests children.
Allegedly,
and comes back as a dream demon made of 3 horribly animated worms.
Oh God, that was terrible.
I'm gonna. Okay.
That was terrible. It really was horrible.
But
wasn't it Yaphet Kotto trying to hunt him down? The bad guy from Live and Let Die. Go ahead.
This movie, I'm gonna give this movie a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Fucking awesome blood geyser coming out of Johnny Depp.
That's really good.
It's awesome.
So with that, our next episode on the final of the Big 5 for Halloween is going to be Michael Myers.
Halloween.
Michael Halloween Myers. Halloween 1 from.
I feel like we've set it up that people think we don't like it or something.
No, not at all.
It's not like I don't. I just think that there's so much more. I think character.
It is because with
Chucky.
Yeah, I think probably people are gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't give enough Freddy enough credit." I'm like, listen to episode 3 and 4. Like, we went very much into. That's one of our sequel episodes, so look it up. It's somewhere.
Yeah,
just look up the movie review index on the right side of Horror Deconstruction. You can find that episode. It's fucking like an hour long episode of us talking about Freddy, and you'll like it. It's very good. We go really, really into depth.
We do 3 and 4, and we probably even get into the character.
Oh, pretty much.
And we definitely say the same exact things about the second movie.
We probably even use the same jokes.
We probably do. We pretty much always do.
Oh yeah, kid fucking jokes.
I have a little a couple post-its with the same jokes, and I just kind of read.
And then sometimes you read them backwards, dyslexic.
It's like in Memento. I tattooed jokes on myself, and I just look down and choose them at random.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so with that, what is the final word, Danny?
Hobo.
Oh, Danny, hold on, Danny. What's the final word?
Hobo.
The horror deconstruction.